Hi and welcome to another narration presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the ass of the subscription button as well. And remember to tap that notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not. We Found Atlantis. This epic story is written by SoLonely200. My name is Alex, and I've been an explorer in the murky depths of our seas for 20 years, and I found Atlantis. Well, we found it, but I guess it doesn't matter anymore. They're all dead now, and now it's just me. Where to start? I suppose the letter would be the best place. 3 months ago, I got a letter from a wealthy investor whom I will not name. He wanted my services to explore an inexplicable anomaly in the Pacific Ocean. It would be, and a team of other divers, explorers and scientists in a state-of-the-art deep-sea diving vessel. The coordinates were in the Pacific Ocean pole of inaccessibility. That is, the point in the sea farthest from any shore. There were 2 teams at 2 close but separate coordinates. I won't say which was the location of Atlantis, but the coordinates were in the vicinity of Nemo. When we arrived, the first thing was the scan of the sea floor, to avoid any possible collisions and of course find the anomaly. Unfortunately, my team had few native English speakers besides myself, so when we immediately noticed a smooth dome structure embedded in the seafloor, I knew they were excited but didn't know what they were saying. "The fuck?" I mumbled to myself, as the others clamoured away in excitement. There was no way something like that was normal. It wasn't terribly far beneath the surface, not deep enough that our sub couldn't handle it. We got prepped, gear, oxygen tanks, depressurization, that sort of thing, and got ready to head down immediately. Everyone had a job. I was on comms and location using an advanced GPS system. As we went deeper beneath the surface, I felt something in my gut, like something was wrong. I shrugged it off, steadied my nerves and waited. Suddenly we stopped. A voice spoke and I looked around. One of the men looked at me and said in a Russian accent, "You're American." I nodded and he smiled. "You look confused. You see, apparently we have arrived at our destination, but it opened for us, so no need to leave yet." Immediately we felt a falling sensation. I hit my head and was knocked out. I was woken by my Russian friend. He wasn't wearing his suit, but we weren't in the sub. Wait, air? The interior of the dome was dry. Our sub gave way to gravity. No casualties, thankfully. There were 8 of us by my count. Looking around, I saw we were on the edge of the city. A city larger than the likes of Tokyo or New York. Impossible buildings touched the top of the dome. I radioed in. "Hey base, this is Team Hotel. It's dry here."
"Dry?"
"In the dome. Sub is totaled though. We're all alive, but we'll need pickup from Team Papa later."
"Roger that. We'll let them know. What are you seeing down there?"
"Atlantis," I said simply. What else could I call it? Thank God they put someone who spoke English on comms. Time to do what we're here to do. The Russian, who introduced himself as Mikhail, was our team leader, it turns out. He told us to stick together as we looked at the crumbling city beneath the dome. As we approached the gates of the city, we saw strange letters emblazoned on the gates. I made out a word. The letters were English, but the words gibberish. Roughly, they said, Yn glyfloch ilfaf afsiach bryn eagle afi micfwala rwledd fingeno thaganen. I snapped a picture from my what was intended to be underwater camera. Hey base, think we can get a description team on this? I said, sending it to them.
Roger, we'll get back to you.
As we entered the city, I noticed an incline. I said aloud, a bit exasperated, "Fuck, this hill is steep." "Hill? What are you talking about?" Mikhail said, and I stopped. "The one we are on." "Ah, this is flat earth, comrade." I was confused, but kept walking. Then I noticed we were now going downhill. What the fuck? We had never reached the top of the hill. This is impossible. I didn't want to panic anyone, so I just kept this to myself. Who knows how long we'd be down here? As we walked through the dilapidated ruins of a great city, I heard faint whispers, which seemed to be from the city itself. "Do you hear that?" I asked, and the rest nodded. The earth trembled beneath us as the whispers seemed to permeate my mind. There were two voices, one speaking an unknown tongue and another speaking English.
You are home. This is our great city.
"Let's keep moving," Mikhail said finally, after a few seconds.
Team Hotel, come in.
I heard over my radio. "Roger."
Meet entrance.
"I'm sorry, gonna need you to repeat that."
Meet team at entrance.
"Roger that," I said. I took it we were meeting the other team on the other side of the city for pickup. I turned my radio off after this as I heard whispers from the static. We walked for hours, back the way we came, but the city never seemed to end. "Are you sure we are going the right way?" I asked Mikhail as the others trailed back. He simply nodded and said, "We haven't turned. A straight line. Surely we are approaching the gates once more." He had confidence in his tone. I wasn't so sure. I was proven right as 5 hours later we were no closer. I heard him mutter something to himself in Russian, then finally said, "This isn't impossible. We should have reached the city limits by now. Radio the ones topside." "Hey base, this is Hotel. We're a bit lost. Do we have another area where we can meet with Papa?" Silence followed, then a sea of overwhelming whispers.
You are our guests, and you can't leave us.
"Well?" I was jolted by Mikhail. "What did command say? Didn't you hear them?" "Hear what?" One of the others on our team, an archaeologist, spoke up, saying something in Russian to Mikhail, and pointed behind us. We saw a looming structure. It was almost like a church, but constructed from coral and some kind of organic material. "What the fuck? Where did that come from?" Mikhail said. The next thing I knew, we were entering the building. I felt dread cover me as we saw a stairwell going down at the end of a well-lit cathedral. "Where do we go?" I asked. Mikhail responded, "We go down." I didn't want to, but my body had other plans. The temple went down farther than should have been possible at that level. We decided to set up a camp of sorts, about 6 levels beneath the surface. We weren't leaving, not tonight anyway. Not much of note happened after that, besides the cathedral just going down farther and farther. We wandered the cathedral for days, it felt like. Then we found the catacombs. It was here where things started going even more awry. One of the men began isolating himself, muttering things to himself. This culminated in 2 days with him cannibalising the archaeologist as well as 3 others, beating their heads in with a large stone. I nearly vomited as Mikhail and 2 others subdued the man. We wandered the darkness of the catacombs for 2 more days, leaving the raving man subdued at a point behind us. Mikhail marked our path with empty water bottles we had brought. It was on day 6 of our journey that I noted that we weren't experiencing the effects of hunger, even though we had long run out of food. Mikhail stopped suddenly. "Shh! You hear that?" We paused. There was a faint scratching resonating in the corridor. It was then that I saw a pair of glowing eyes staring from the darkness. I motioned and Mikhail shined his makeshift torch towards the orbs. I want you to picture a man about 8 feet tall with disproportionately long limbs and a head resembling an anglerfish. It hissed and the room lit up with the orbs. Trying to repel the fisherman, for lack of a better term, he began swinging the torch wildly. Some of them grabbed our comrade and in one foul swoop ripped his limbs off. He screamed in agony as blood splattered Mikhail and I. "Go!" Mikhail barked. He swung the torch around to repel them.
"The ruler, Yimgusa! We want you,"
I heard in my head. I ran away from the sounds of Mikhail's screams. I ran until I couldn't anymore. I finally collapsed in exhaustion and let sleep grip me. I woke up and found myself outside of the cathedral. The city's structures loomed over me like bars in a prison cell. I let out a scream as I felt myself losing my grip on reality. I needed to get out of this city.
"You'll never leave us,"
the voices spoke. I began to run, trying to find any way out of this nightmare. I fell to my knees after running for what felt like miles. I looked up and found myself at the steps of the cathedral once again, but now the bodies of my former teammates were nailed to the outer wall. I began weeping, feeling madness take over. My eyes shut as I waited for death to come. When I opened them, I was back in the catacombs. Leaks all around me. I lay in the fetal position for hours. Sleep never came as I waited for something, anything, to end all of this madness. Then I felt the breeze. A way out? I ran towards the source, knowing deep down there was no way this was my escape. I found a large chamber. In it was a dark pit. I heard a voice from within it and my own mind speak.
"Al-Nogya, come to me."
And I had no control over myself as I leapt over the edge. That was the last thing I remember. I woke up on shore. After contacting my employer, I had been missing for 3 months and they lost contact with us after we entered the cathedral. The others are missing. I don't know what happened down there, but I'm not going back. They've offered to pay me to do it, but I've refused. Even now, I still hear the voices calling for me to return to sea. Don't forget, if you enjoyed that story, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile and drop them a line, or even give them a glowing review. I'm sure they really would appreciate it. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the ass of the subscription button as well. And remember to tap the notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. Oh, and don't forget to share the video far and wide. This will all help with YouTube's algorithm and will help to promote this channel more. And don't forget to check out the merch store. The link will be in the description and also in the video thumbnail. And if you would like an honourable mention, send in a snapshot of yourself with your purchase and I'll feature it in one of the videos. I now have my very own subreddit community where you can submit any stories you've written. You can submit your stories or encounters either there or send them to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. If you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. All the links are below. I also have a Facebook group, Twitter, Reddit, and you'll also find me on Discord. If you would like to support this channel and help make it grow, my PayPal is paypal.me/cryptidsroost. Again, that will also be below. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not.